Like most people in business and government today, I grew up learning the importance of balancing the books, whether at home or at work. As Charles Dickens put it, annual income £20, annual expenditure 19, 19 and 6, result happiness. Annual income £20, annual expenditure £20 or 6, result misery. The point is, if you overspend by a few cents in $100 consistently, you're on a slippery downward slope. I studied sciences at Cambridge University and I started my working career by qualifying as a chartered accountant. So I have always believed that understanding the numbers is an essential part of understanding a business or a country for that matter. To this day, I remember the disaster that was Britain's economy in the 1970s, eating dinner cooked on a gas stove by candlelight because the power was out, chuckling when American movies showed people using tone-dialing telephones in the 1980s because we didn't believe such technology actually existed. Somewhere in amongst that, Thatcher came along and turned the British economy upside down, very much for the better from a customer service and national infrastructure point of view, though as I came to appreciate properly much later, at huge cost to a host of communities across the country. An awful lot of water has flowed under the economic bridge since then, in Europe, North America and around the world. Japan was first to enter an extended period of virtually zero interest rates and almost no growth back in the early 1990s. Much of the developed world has followed, particularly since the global financial crisis a decade ago. Real wage stagnation has become a real thing for many, many people, whilst critical items such as good quality food and education and healthcare have spiraled in cost. And today, in the USA and around much of the world, we face a huge health crisis. This has also created the largest economic crisis since the Great Depression, and national debt is spiraling dramatically in many countries. The cost and pain of the climate crisis is now an almost daily problem, with record fires and record floods and record storms and droughts, and now fires again, destroying property and destroying lives. We're also beginning to face up to the reality that our world has capacity constraints, the 9 planetary boundaries, as the Stockholm Resilience Centre puts it. And we face what may be even greater social challenges as machines automate more and more jobs, what's often called the future of work, but I think is better described as the future of society. So it should be obvious that we don't just need new technology to address these challenges. We need new thinking, and we need to find new ways to pay for all the investment in people and capital and environmental remediation that will be needed. We also need to be able to persuade people that the new thinking will work in real life, and to persuade leaders in government and in business and investment to act, and to convince our friends and families and colleagues to support them. So we are really delighted that we're joined today by Dr. Stephanie Kelton, author of the New York Times bestseller, The Deficit Myth: Modern Monetary Theory and the Birth of the People's Economy, for our monthly Green Jobs Report. This is a book filled with some really thought-provoking and persuasive arguments. Indeed, Mohammed El-Arian described it as remarkable in its content and timing, and a must-read that is sure to influence many aspects of policy-making going forward. Stephanie joins our regular guests, Dr. Fidel Kaboub, Dr. Scott Fulwiler, and Amir Khalegi. As always, today's discussion will be as interactive as we can make it, and indeed you can make it. So as we count down to the hour, please do introduce yourself and your particular interests using the chat function at the bottom of the screen. There's also a Q&A function for your questions, and we will do our best to weave these into the discussion. We're simulcasting on YouTube, so it's not too late to invite your friends. They can join us at live.esgx.org. And if you're watching on YouTube, please do hit the like button so that our guests' ideas and perspectives can reach a wider audience. Finally, a sincere thank you to Pottinger and HIP Investor for supporting ESGX. Our community now spans nearly 60 countries and continues to grow every week. So sit back and have your questions at the ready. Our problems are pressing and our objective is to find actions we can each take right now. We very much look forward to the discussion.